Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala. So before I begin, inshallah, in the month of Ramadan, we have this sadaqah jari opportunity. So we can pay off the loan on the masjid, inshallah. So we have 500 salah spots in the masjid for sale. Each one of them is $1,000. So if you would like to buy one for yourself, your parents, your family, inshallah, everyone is welcome, and you will get a tax receipt on top of that, inshallah. So last night we spoke about the fact that this dunya, this life is very short. Eventually we'll leave and go to the next life. So we need to make sure that everything is good before you go. Because if this life is a mess, then most likely the next one will be so difficult for you. So we make sure, inshallah, everything is good. Just like when you go somewhere to an office and you'd like to apply for something, and you fill out your form, your papers are in order, then khalas, you will go straight. But if your papers are messed up, you are missing some documents, then there will be a lot of back and forth, and it's gonna be hectic for you. As I said last night, no one knows when they will go. Maybe tonight, there's no guarantee that some of us will go through this door and go home. There's no guarantee that some of us will make it to the end of the month or next year. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam. Maybe you know the tafsir al-Jalalain. How many of you heard of this tafsir al-Jalalain? Half of you. So this is a very significant tafsir, and most people like it because it's very short. So what is significant about this tafsir? Jalaluddin al-Mahalli, he started this tafsir. He said, I'm going to do the easy part. I'm going to do from Surah Kahf to Surah Nas. So he started from Surah 18. And he finished Surah 114. He said, I'm going to do the second half first, which is the easy part. Then once I'm done, I'm going to go to the first half from Fatiha till Surah Isra. Once he finished Surah Nas, he died. He didn't live long enough to finish the first half. 6-7 years later, Jalaluddin al-Suyuti came and he finished the first half, and he followed exactly the same style. This is why they call it Al-Jalalain, Jalaluddin al-Mahalli and Jalaluddin al-Suyuti. Okay, mashallah, sit down. So you never know when you will go. No one knows. People have plans for 10 years and 15 years, 50 years from today, inshallah, when I'm going to retire, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and so on and so forth. So all the people who die, they actually have plans for the future. There's an authentic hadith in Bukhari. The Prophet ﷺ knew that people are visual. So one day he was talking to the Sahaba and teaching them. So he drew something on the sand, he drew a square, and he said, this is the lifespan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you, this square. And he drew two lines coming out from this box, going all the way to both windows. And the Prophet ﷺ said, these are al-amal, the hopes in life, the plans you have for the future. So your life actually is very small, but your hope in life is so big, right? And this is why most of us die before they achieve most of their plans. Why? Because they always say, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And this tomorrow never comes. And the Prophet ﷺ says, if you want to do something good, like give sadaqah, you have not been talking to your brother or sister for a long time, you want to talk to them. Or if you want, for example, to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't delay. And the Prophet ﷺ says in this hadith, maybe the healthy will become sick. Maybe the living will die. Maybe the rich will become poor. If you have enough money to go for Hajj next year, next year, next year, maybe this next year will never come. So the Prophet ﷺ says, if you want to do something good, don't delay. So last night we spoke about two rights. The rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have done something wrong, make tawbah. If you are delaying your salah, make sure you pray on time. If you are not fasting properly, this is what you need to do. Also, if you made a mistake, you need to make tawbah. And seriously, how much time do you need to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? To say, Ya Allah, forgive me. 5 seconds? Some people live 70 and 80 years and they don't have time to say these two words. Forgive me, Ya Allah. Right? So they have no chance. Also, we spoke about your relationship with the people. Don't tell your parents that you hate them, because no one loves you in this world more than them. And they do everything they can to make your life happier and easier. But sometimes we don't appreciate this. And one day, inshallah, we'll give a khutbah about the parents. Husbands and wives, The Quran always talks about the relationship of the husband and the wife, and there are so many hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Our two biggest problems in the relationships, I do a lot of counseling. People, number one, they don't know their obligations. Everyone knows their rights, but when it comes to their obligations, they don't care. And number two, the priorities are messed up, right? So this is why we always have issues in the marriage. Now I'm talking about the rights of Allah and the rights of the people, the parents, husband and wife. So my message to the sisters tonight, make your lives, husbands, easy. Don't make it difficult for him. Don't ask him to buy stuff more than what he can afford. Because life in this country is difficult. This is a materialistic society. To afford just a decent house here, like a detached house here, $2,500, $3,000, and we're not even talking about the bills, kids' education, shopping, the gas, the insurance. Where is he gonna get the money from? Do you want him to be a chore, a thief, herses, right? Took? What is he gonna do? So make it easy for him. One time I was in Edmonton, this brother and his wife came to my office. His wife has a degree in Islamic studies. So she's not like a person off the street or what they call Joe Blow, like someone who doesn't know anything. She has a degree in Islamic studies. And she was bugging him, like, I need this big house, I need this big car. He said, I bought her a car for $10,000. She wanted a $25,000 car. And he said, okay, why? She said, because just like my sister. He was a barber, like in the shop. Her sister was married to a doctor who makes like $150,000 a year. So he was telling her, you don't expect me to provide for you just like your sister is provided for by her husband, because he makes like 2-3 times the money I'm making. But she was making his life difficult. And this is not acceptable Islamically. If you make things easy for him, Allah will make it easy for you. Also the husbands, sometimes they make things difficult for their wives. So sisters are excited in the back. Takbir, mashallah, he's gonna attack the brothers now. So make sure your wife has her time for herself. Make sure that because she is taking care of the kids, she's making care of a big kid, you, right? Because we have a bigger kid inside of us, right? So we like to be treated in a certain way, taken care of, we like certain foods and so on and so forth. I understand, alhamdulillah. But she has bigger problems. Doing the dishes, cleaning, cooking, diaper, all these things, what is she gonna do? You have release in your life, you go to work, you go to Tim Hortons, you play cricket, you play hockey, right? Where is she gonna go, right? So make sure, inshallah, you take care of your sister. And don't tell your wife, don't talk to your family. This is the biggest mistake you can make. And this is haram, this is qati'at rahim, right? So don't ask your wife not to talk to her family. I got only 2 minutes, inshallah. Because I hear stories from the sisters. Before the brother got married to me, he was visiting us every day. They had to call 911 to kick him out of the house because he didn't want to leave. He was buying flowers, he was sugarcoating and all these things, right? But once we got married, I went to his house. You're not allowed to go to your parents. They are thieves. What is this, man, right? So you shouldn't do this. This is haram, right? You don't stop your wife from visiting her family and taking care of them. One thing I forgot to say about the sisters, he's coming back to us. You don't need to talk to your family all the time about what is happening in your house. You're old enough, intelligent enough, educated enough to take care of your problems. So don't talk to your family and ask them about your life, and my husband did this, my husband did that, because the husbands don't like this. I remember one time one brother, also Edmonton has a lot of problems. I talk about Edmonton all the time, don't go there. So the brother came to my office and he says, wallahi, like 25% of his salary goes to calls to back home. His wife calls her mom every day, 2 hours. She reports everything. Everything. He came late. Well, I burned the food. He gave me the wicked look. Details, all the details. And the brother was telling me, she's not the only one doing it. She has like 3 sisters. They are doing the same thing. One is married in China. Ni hao, this is what my husband did. One is married in France. Comment allez-vous, this is what my husband did. One is married in Latin America. Gracias, señorita Roberto. This is what my husband did. And one in Canada. So they made me feel like her father is sitting, actually her mom was sitting there back home, North Africa, sorry. And she is getting the call, and the mom will say, because everyone is calling, if your husband was late from work, press 1. If your husband didn't give you all his salary this month, press 2. If your husband doesn't like your food, press 3. If your husband didn't take you for shopping, press 4. If you want to take to an agent, your dad, press 0. And I told her, this is nonsense. Don't call your mom. Maybe once a week, like once every 2 weeks, but not everything. This is too much. And I think eventually they had a divorce because of this, right? So we'll continue tomorrow. We're running out of time, and I'm mad already. So we'll talk tomorrow, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us in this life and give us sincerity in everything we say and do. And the question for last night, there's only one woman mentioned by name in the Quran, and we have 2 winners today. We have Mr. Ziyad. Takbir. MashaAllah. And we also have Yusuf from North Africa. MashaAllah. Yusuf. Brother of Yusuf is going to take. Jazakallah khair. I was trying all the time. Jazakallah khair. Tonight's question is quite difficult. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about ni'am, the favors, the blessings that He has showered on us all the time in the Quran. There's one particular surah that talks about the favors of Allah on us more than any other surah. It has a name, but there is another name which is Suratul Ni'am, the surah of the blessings of Allah. So if you know that surah, email me tomorrow inshallah at Mustafa at Anatolia Center.ca. Jazakumullah khair.